Okay, so here's part 2. So you're really good at now solving by elimination and substitution with two variables. Now we're going to put a third variable in there. So here are a couple things that we need to focus on. Your goal is to, 1, use elimination to get two equations to two variables. Okay, so we're using elimination to get two equations with two variables. And I'll show you what that looks like. So let's go ahead and stop there. Let's go ahead and I'll show you what that goal would accomplish. So let's take a look at lines 1 and lines 2. We're just going to pick a variable that we're going to eliminate here. So if I look at the first two lines, I see that the y's are really easy to eliminate because one's positive, one's negative already, so I don't really have to solve for anything there. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and eliminate. So I'm going to add those two together. I'm going to write those off to the side. So we got x plus y plus z equals 6, and 2x minus y plus 3z equals 9. So if I add these two together, those are going to be 0, and I'll be left with 3x plus 4z equals 15. Okay, so obviously I can't solve that because there's two variables. Okay, so here's where that second equation comes in. So now you can either take the last two or you can take the first and the last to eliminate. Again, you want to eliminate the same variable, so you're looking to eliminate the y's. Again, it doesn't matter which ones you pick. I'm going to go ahead and just take the second and the third ones. So I'm going to rewrite these. And now it's really important to eliminate, in this step, eliminate the same variable. Okay, so since we eliminated y's before, we have to eliminate the y's now. So I need to multiply this first one by 2 to get that to be the opposite of positive 2. So I'm going to rewrite this, 4x minus 2y plus 6z equals 18. And then I'll just rewrite the second one. Okay. Alright, so now we got this to be 0, and we've got 3x plus 8z equals 27. Okay, so now we've got equation number 1 and equation number 2. And that was our goal. That was our first goal up in the beginning, was to use elimination to get two equations with two variables. So now your second goal is then to use those two equations, and do elimination or substitution, whatever you want to do, to solve for one variable. Okay, so now, so I'm going to take equation number 1, equation number 2. So equation 1 was 3x plus 8z equals 27. And equation 2 was 3x plus 4z equals 15. Okay, so I see I've got 3x and 3x, so all I really need to do is multiply one of them by a negative. So I can eliminate the x's. Those are probably the easiest. You could eliminate the z's if that's what you saw first, but this is just what I saw, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this. So now x's are gone, and I'm going to have 4z equals, whoops, I forgot to change this 15 to a negative. This is going to equal, let's see, 12. So I'm going to divide by 4. So z equals 3. Okay, so I got z equals 3, and now I need to substitute that in. So normally, in our two variable equations, we could substitute it right back into the beginning, but the problem with that is I would still have two variables. So what I want to do is I'm going to substitute it back into one of the equations that I eliminated. So either equation 1 or equation 2. And it doesn't matter which one you choose. I'm just going to use equation 1 here because it's closer. So 3 times 3 plus, whoops, I plugged it into the wrong one. We solved for z, not for x. Come on. Okay, so 3x plus 8 times, what was it, 3? Yep. 3 equals 27. So I got 3x plus 24 equals 27. So then 3x equals 3. So then x equals 1. Okay, so we've got 2 out of the 3 variables. Now we got to figure out what y is, and this is where you go back to the very beginning. I'm just going to use that top one, x plus y plus z equals 6, just because it's very simple. So I've got 1 and 3. So 1 plus y plus 3 equals 6. So let's see, y would equal 4. Nope, just kidding. Y would equal 2. I can do math today. Okay, y should equal 2. So your final answer, how you want to write it, is x, y, z in that order, like in alphabetical order. So x is 1, y is 2, and z was 3. So that would be your final answer. Why don't you go ahead and pause the video and see if you can do number 3 on your own, number 3, the second one on your own, and then play it to check your answers. Okay, so hopefully you got a chance to pause and try it. I'm going to go through this fairly quickly because I hope you got the right answer. If you didn't, just let me know. Pause it, ask me a question, pull me over. So let's take a look at this one. I'm just going to pull the first ones, and I'll multiply this first one by 3 to get rid of the y's. Again, your process could be totally different based on what variable you chose to eliminate first. Plus 3z equals 9. So now I'll add those two together. 14x minus 3z equals 9. So there's equation number 1. Equation 2, I need to, again, eliminate y's. So I'll take the first one and the last one and eliminate the y's. I'll multiply the top one by 2. So I'll do that over here right next to it. So I have 8x plus 2y minus 4z equals 0, and then I'll have negative 6x minus 2y plus z equals 0. So I'll get 2x minus 3z equals 0. So now here's equation number 2. So I'm going to take those two equations and now do substitution with those, or substitution or elimination. I'll probably choose elimination here. So I'm going to multiply the bottom one just by a negative 1 to get the 3's opposite. You could have done the same thing to the top one, but it doesn't matter. So we'll get 14x minus 3z equals 9. And negative 2x plus 3z equals 0. So I'll have 12x equals 9. And I'll divide both sides. X will equal 9 over 12, ahead of myself, which reduces to 3 over 4. That is okay to get a fraction like that. Perfectly fine. Okay, so x equals 3 over 4. Now I'm going to substitute that back in to either equation number 1 or equation number 2 that you made up. So I'm going to go ahead and do into equation number 2 just because the numbers are smaller. I'll go ahead and show you that in green. So 2 times 3/4 minus 3z equals 0. So this will be 6 over 4 or 3 over 2. z will equal 1/2. Okay, and last but not least, taking that all the way to the beginning, one of these equations, and putting it back in. So let's go ahead and do that. So 4 times 3/4 plus y minus 2 times z we found to be 1/2 equals 0. So I have 3 plus y minus 1 equals 0. Y plus 2 equals 0, so y equals -2. So final answer. If we write it as x, y, z, x was 3/4, y was -2, and z was 1/2. All right, go try level 2, part 2.